It was another personality that you were, and then this car accident happened, and when you came back to life in a way, you were a whole different person.
The first thing I remember is standing outside the car in total silence. This is on a busy freeway.
Okay.
Total silence. Looking at the truck that had run into me and looking at the car and looking in on my body.
Uh-huh.
And I looked and saw that spiral that people talk about.
Like the tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually could look both ways.
You could look at the tunnel, you could look at this world.
And I was looking through a tunnel at this world.
Uh-huh.
At my body.
Uh-huh.
And I remember entering the body and having major difficulty. Was
it like you were beamed down here in a sense? I mean, if it
that part of it's not with me.
Okay, but you somehow...
I was just there.
And that's the first thing you remembered after?
Yep.
You were just there.
And then the frustration of trying to make hands work.
It sounds so cinematic. You know, you were there and then you went into the body. And
I can remember that frustration of not being able to communicate with them.
Uh-huh, with the body.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But didn't know anything about it at the time, I remember.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Everything at the time was sort of wiped out until I started writing. So there's a period of probably a couple of months before I started to write, and the actual memories came back.
Uh-huh.
And they're very, very, very clear.
What memories from where you came from, you mean?
Memories of the accident.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
I see. I see.
Somehow I ended up getting in the body and standing outside the car. Physically got out of the car. And they don't know how I did it.
The broken body, the fractured.
I was outside the car and this nurse turned up.
On the highway?
On the highway.
Uh-huh.
And it was still silent.
It was still solid?
Totally silent.
What was solid? The nurse?
Everything around me was silence.
Silence, silent. Okay.
Silence, yes.
Okay. Silent.
Quiet.
Okay. And the nurse was there?
Yeah. And she made sure I was comfortable and put me in the back seat.
Back seat of?
Of the damaged car.
Oh, she put you, you were outside and then you went back into the damaged car?
Yeah.
Ah.
So then a doctor arrived.
Uh-huh.
And somehow the nurse disappeared, and the doctor said to me, "Where's the driver?"
Uh-huh.
And I said, "I'm the driver," and he didn't believe me, checked me over, and then the paramedics arrived, and the doctor seemed to disappear.
Uh-huh.
And the paramedics actually said that they saw the accident and they turned half the crew around to go and get the clean-up gear because they didn't think there'd be anybody. And so I tried to check to find out whether the doctor was available so that I could thank him and the nurse.
Uh-huh.
No record anywhere.
Huh.
So I believe they were there to help me.
Uh-huh. What did the doctor do for you?
He just made sure my heart was okay and that I was sitting comfortably for the ambulance to arrive.
So they could have been from another realm, these beings, probably.
Yeah. I really think that's the case.
Yeah. And then they took you...
Put me in an ambulance,
right.
yes. And I was fine. I felt fine.
You weren't in pain?
No.
No pain?
None at all.
Wow. Throughout the whole... The whole rehabilitation, there was no...
No, there was later on.
Uh-huh.
But during the accident and going back in the ambulance, I remember the attendant or whoever was looking after me going, "Oh," as we went around the corner, and I said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Oh, your bones are crunching everywhere every time we go around the corner." I said, "Oh, that's interesting."
You didn't feel, was it because maybe you were in shock, or?
Well, that's how it seems, but I know that we're looked after very, very well in any accident.
I see. So you weren't maybe even fully in the body totally?
Probably.
Yeah, yeah.
But back at the hospital, there came a point where I had to say I've had enough, and I was shutting down, and then the normal recovery cycle started, and that took 5 years.
Right.
But there are some funny things in there as well.
Okay.
I remember the tow truck driver turned up and borrowed my pen, which was quite a good pen, you know. And then he puts his piece of paper on the trunk of the car, and it was quite a nice car. And he starts writing things out, and I said, "Don't write on the car. You ruin the paintwork."
This was after the car was smashed up.
Total.
I see.
Yeah, it was about half as long as a car normally is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
The front seat was actually sticking out through the windscreen.